Imagine being wrapped up in a blanket, asleep on your cousin's couch, and someone comes storming through the door in the middle of the night. You might reach for a gun to protect yourself against what you don't believe to be an unknown threat. Then imagine getting shot yourself about 9 seconds after the front door flies open. That is the apparent scenario that ended the life of 22-year-old Amir Locke on February 2nd in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Social justice protests have filled the streets there since that young man was killed by officers executing a no-knock warrant as part of a murder investigation, a warrant that did not name him. Richard Berries, the president of the Central Valley chapter of Noble, joins me now live to talk about this case and this kind of warrant. Noble stands for the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. Welcome back to Fox 40 News at 11.
Thanks for having me back. Good morning.
Good morning. Full disclosure, you're also the chief of the Stockton Unified School District's Department of Public Safety, but you're with us today in your capacity with Noble. First, what went through your mind when you heard about this latest case out of Minnesota?
Yeah, there are a couple things that went through my mind. First, it's a very tragic situation anytime someone is killed. And so for me, I start to think about what if this was one of my relatives or someone that I know. Second was what happened. What are the facts in this case, in this incident? And I know a investigation is underway, and that will help provide answers.
There's not a lot of standardized data about no-knock warrants. Some reports indicate about 1,500 of these were executed in the U.S. in the early 1980s. By 2010, that had ballooned to between 60 and 70,000. What is Noble's position on the use of these warrants?
Well, at Noble, we're calling for a national review on the prohibition of no-knock warrants as it relates to drug cases. From gathering this information, we will be able to analyze the data, which will help guide in the development of procedures and policies, as well as new laws that will keep the community and officers safe.
Between 2010 and 2016, some estimates indicate at least 31 civilians and 8 officers have actually died during the execution of no-knock warrants, even though supporters argue that this type of search makes the scenario actually safer for officers. We know Florida, Oregon, and Virginia have banned them. The mayor of Minneapolis has instituted a moratorium on them since Locke's killing. Have you been involved in many operations with these kinds of warrants, and what's the situation with them here in California?
Throughout my career, I've been in over 100 search warrants. None of them were authorized as no-knock warrants. In California, they are legal. However, under very limited and strict guidelines, in order to execute a no-knock warrant, it needs to be signed by a judge. And additionally, some police departments require that the chief of police also signs off on the no-knock warrant.
Now, many who would like to see this approach to finding suspects and evidence banned for good say Locke died in exactly the same way Breonna Taylor did in Kentucky in 2020. Jury selection just started actually this week in the case of the one officer out of many who were involved in that situation. He's been charged in that situation. He's facing trial for shooting into a neighbor's apartment, actually not with killing her. The federal George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which collapsed in the Senate, would have banned no-knock warrants in federal drug cases and encourage the same for local jurisdictions. How problematic do you think it is that that whole notion couldn't get any traction?
Each case is contingent on the circumstances. So whenever you're looking to execute a search warrant, you are looking at the totality of circumstances. That's why at Noble, we are calling for that national review, because it's important to analyze that and then use that information to help strengthen legislation that potentially can be passed in order to keep the community safe.
Police in the Locke situation in Minnesota, when they requested this, they got a judge to sign off on this warrant because one of the listed occupants of the apartment, the subject of the warrant, had a violent history. And the theory is that warrants executed between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. reduce the risk that evidence sought will be destroyed. In your experience, do you find that to be a valid argument?
I don't know all of the facts in the Minnesota case, so I can't speak specifically on that. I know that they will be doing an investigation, and that investigation, should be very thorough and timely, and then help provide a lot of answers in terms of, if it was executed within state law.
You were speaking, though, of being involved in about 100 searches with search warrants during your career. Do you find, though, that evidence is destroyed frequently if you're not maybe going in over the sleeping hours when someone might be in bed and not, looking for someone coming for them?
Yeah, each search warrant has, been different. Like I said, the facts of the case really determine your approach when having a search warrant. It's important to, really do the due diligence and have a proper investigation leading up towards it to make sure that all of your facts are correct and that you are going to the right residence as well as the person and evidence that you're looking for. There's probable cause to believe that it is actually, in fact, at the residence you're going to.
Chief, before we run out of time, even for knock and announce warrants, some of the same tactics can be used. We're talking about flashbangs or ramming of doors. So critics say all search warrants should be heavily restricted, but that seems to me like the pendulum swinging too far the other way, isn't it? How would we solve cases if we sort of eliminated most searches?
Yeah, I do not think that would help keep the community safe by getting rid of the execution of search warrants. For example, there are cases of kidnapping or human trafficking or even hostage situations. Police or law enforcement will not have the ability to enter into a home without having a search warrant. So search warrants are definitely appropriate. It's just imperative on law enforcement side that we are doing and taking all the necessary steps throughout the investigation and making sure we are executing it within policy and law.
Chief, thank you so much for joining us this morning and sharing your perspective. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Now let's